Hello and welcome to the Pinup Academy and this online tutorial on how to set up your Ecwid shopping cart and start selling on Facebook straight away. So let's get started. Now what we're going to look at is obviously configuring the Ecwid module, which is an online hosted shopping cart. It's hosted on Amazon servers, so it's nice and secure, and the advantage of Ecwid is that as they feel the need to update it for security reasons, etc., they do it and save us the job. So therefore it means that it's always updated, it's always safe and secure, and you don't have or run the risk of somebody hacking into your shopping cart. So what we're going to cover today is how to set it up specifically to sell prints. Obviously a lot of our models use this as a revenue stream to sell their photos, obviously with the permission of the copyright owners, to their fans via their Facebook page. So what we're going to cover today is, first of all, a very quick overview of what Ecwid is, a quick review of the different versions available. We're going to suggest you start with the free version today, and obviously set up your free account. We're going to walk you through the overview and setup of that process. The email that you use obviously will need to be confirmed. Ecwid will send you an email just asking you to confirm your address. And then we're going to give a quick overview of the Ecwid interface, and then delete the sample data that comes with the free version. So we can get started. We're then going to add a couple of product categories, which is one of the restrictions with the free version. They will limit you on how many categories and then products that you can add, but it's great, it's fine to get started. We're then going to customize the website address, the URL to your shopping cart. We're then going to set up the shipping zones and rates, as we're going to assume that you're going to want to sell your prints to anyone, irrespective of whether they live in the US, the UK, Europe, etc. We're going to show you how simple it is to set up or add your PayPal account to Ecwid, so you can obviously receive payment. Activate the social media sharing, so capitalize on the benefits of people clicking like and sharing your photos directly from your shopping cart, so other people follow the links and then purchase more prints. And then last but no means least, we're going to connect to Facebook. So you can then offer your fans the ability to support you in your work and also benefit from some high quality prints. Okay, so very quickly, Ecwid is pronounced Ecwid. It's short for e-commerce widget, and it's effectively a revolutionary shopping cart that seamlessly integrates into multiple websites and social media pages such as Facebook and Tumblr. We've used it here now at the Pinup Academy for a number of years, and the reason for that is quite simply we can have our shopping cart on multiple websites, multiple Facebook pages, but when it comes to processing our orders or uploading new images to the shopping cart, we only have to do it through one control panel. So everything is administrated through that one simple control panel, yet we can sell through many or multiple outlets. Although it is packed with high value features, as I mentioned, it is absolutely free to get started. It's a full free version. There are restrictions on how many products and how many categories you can have, but it's not time restricted, so if you can manage with those products and categories, effectively you can run a free shopping cart for ever and a day. So what we're going to do now is follow this link. If you copy and type this link in, it's http://open.ecwid.com/cfcft, and I'll put a link to this in the comments below, so you can click on this link to get started. Okay, so this is the actual Ecwid homepage to sign up, and what we're going to do is just click on the sign up option, and we're going to enter your email address, which is myself, and my name, and then a simple password. Obviously you can make this as alphanumeric or as complex, so that as long as you can remember it, and then click on create my account. Okay, so whilst that's setting up, and as you can see now, we've got this notification email come through from Ecwid, which you need to then just go through to your emails and click on the confirmation, sort of verify your email. Okay, so that's now been validated. Alright, so whilst we've got that panel open, what I want to do first of all is just run through the different versions and what you get within the product. So as you can see, it is available as a monthly option, and it is very reasonably priced, bearing in mind that this effectively is there to make you money. So with the free version, as you can see, it's a free plan forever, so there's no transaction fees. They don't deduct anything from your sales, etc. The only thing or way that you will have to pay per sale is obviously if you use PayPal as a merchant to collect your payments. But effectively with the free version you can list up to 10 products to sell, so that's 10 prints. It is mobile optimized, so for anybody that's visiting it through their smartphones or iPads or tablets, etc., it's optimized for the mobile world. You can add a store to any website, as I mentioned, and you can sell simultaneously on multiple sites, including the Facebook page, and accept payments directly on your website. The next version along is what they class as their venture. It starts at $15 a month if paid monthly, or $12 a month if you pay obviously annually. Again, no transaction fees, and as you can see, it basically goes up with the number of products you can sell, and also it introduces things like discount options. So that means you can actually offer discounts to your, or promotional codes to your fans to run special offers. And there's various other options, including the enhanced SEO capabilities and also the ability to connect the iPhone app, so you can manage your store through the iPhone as well whilst you're out and about. And then there's a business version, which is only $35 a month, and this now offers you up to 2,500 products. So as you can imagine, now this is getting into the big bucks of you selling lots and lots of prints and having lots of different products for you to sell to your fan base, etc. And then last but no means least, there's a full version which has got unlimited products, etc. But yet really to know anybody that needs or warrants that kind of investment. But just so you know, it's there. Again, just to highlight, this is a fully hosted shopping cart on extremely secure servers at Amazon. So just to sort of give you a quick sort of run through of some of the features. As I say, it's really everything here that you need, and it's extremely secure and safe to use. And the beauty of it is that, having used various shopping carts in the past where you install them onto your own website, you can guarantee that it's almost a monthly, if not more frequently, task to run updates and reinstall patches where there's obviously bug fixes and vulnerabilities as people have developed or found ways of hacking into shopping carts. So the beauty of Ecwid is it's a stored, hosted shopping cart, and all of that is done for you. So effectively just leaving you to add products and process your orders. So going back into our control panel, what I want to do is give you a quick overview. Now there is a wizard that you can run through and set up, but I'm going to suggest, because we're here to show you exactly how to do it for prints, that we actually cancel that wizard. You can start it again at a later date if you want, but for the the process of what we're going to go through today, you don't need it, as we're going to do it all for you through this video. Now you can see there's a dashboard here as you log in, which normally goes through. This is dummy data, which just basically tells you your last 10 orders, and you can see what status they're at, whether they're awaiting payment or awaiting shipping, etc. And then the very simple menu options across the top. If we just run through them, My Sales shows you the recent sales. This again is sample data, but we've got awaiting payment, awaiting processing, and you can change this. So just by clicking on change, you can say that you've now processed it, i.e. you've ordered the prints and you're waiting for them to be delivered to you, or that they've been shipped and you've now actually shipped them off to your customer, been delivered, etc., and so on and so forth. So it's very easy to change the actual status, and obviously the same with the payment. Now if you're using, which we're going to suggest you use, PayPal, this status will change from awaiting payment to paid automatically as payment via PayPal is processed. In addition, you'll also get notification if for some reason your customer cancels the payment via PayPal. It will also change that status back in Ecwid, so it's integrated and linked together. We can obviously see who's placing the orders and what the orders are. So by clicking on any of these, we can see what orders are that have been processed, etc. So we know exactly what to order and how to process the customer's order. There's also the ability to look at any unfinished sales. Now this is a feature once you upgrade to the next option. But it's quite a useful feature as you move forward, because it will tell you if somebody actually started to check out, added prints to their shopping cart, and then abandoned it. So for some reason they either hit a problem, etc. So it's worth having a look at those sometimes, because you can obviously email the customer and say what happened, was there a problem, and address that problem. So one, you still get their sale, but also possibly increase sales from other people that might hit the same problem. Okay, so having a look at those where our sales are. There's also this option here which we use a lot within the Pinup Academy, which is paid but not shipped. So effectively, as you can imagine, once you start processing your orders and shipping them out, this option here will show you the orders that are remaining for you to process. So it's effectively just filtering them out and saying you haven't ordered these prints yet, or you haven't shipped them to the customer. So that's quite a nice option, which is this either under the orders, you've then got paid but not shipped. But also you've got placed but not paid. But as I say, if you're using PayPal, there shouldn't be a reason why somebody hasn't paid you once the order goes in for processing. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the catalogue, and this is where we're going to start in a minute and start deleting stuff out. But effectively, you can link all of your products and assign prints, and you can assign them under different categories. Now, within the free version, it limits you to 2 categories, and we're going to start to set that up now. So the first thing, what I'm going to do is go back to the sales. I'm going to just click on this select all, scroll down to the bottom, and actually choose delete all selected and confirm that deletion. So we've effectively removed those 7 orders. And then what I'm going to do is go across to the catalogue, and I'm going to look at selecting all of the products. So there's 10 in there, and then what we're going to do is delete all of those products. Okay, and now we're going to move over to categories, and we could delete these, but we just might as well rename them. Now they use in the sample fruit and vegetables as two categories. But effectively, the categories are where you can break down your prints. So you don't need to use them. You can have categories and subcategories. But for example, we've got some images that I'm going to upload as sample data. So if I click on here, you'll see that under October's folder, I've just actually created a subfolder so we can put all of the images in there. They're low-res images for the shopping cart. As you can see, I've set them at 800 by 1200 pixels, which is adequate for viewing the image via the web. It doesn't need to be a high-res image in your shopping cart because this is obviously just for them to see it. The high-res image is what you upload to your printers for them to be able to actually print them and fulfill the order. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up a couple of categories and break them down into different ideas. So we've got a couple of latex images in here, and we've also got some that was shot in a tattoo studio. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this fruit category. We're going to rename this to latex, and I'm going to come down and delete the image that it gives me at the moment and choose a new one. And for the sake of this, we're just going to choose one of the latex images from here, and that's fine. I can use that as the category image. What I would say is for your category images, use them all of the same orientation, so either portrait, taller rather than wider, or landscape, and that way it just makes it look nicer on the category page because they're all of the same orientation, and that way the columns will line up nice and neatly, as you'll see later. We can put a description in this and we can format this text, but effectively we can put, latex square, and we can save. So let's rename the vegetable one, and we can call this tattoo studio prints. And again, we could call it latex prints, it doesn't really matter. Delete and upload a new image. So we'll take this tattoo one. So these are just the images for each of the categories. They're just a way of grouping images so that they're easy for people to find. So what we find is if you create them or break them down by the genre, pin-up, latex, fetish, tattoo studios, outdoor, indoor. You can even create new release, which is something that October does a lot. So that could be where you've newly added or recently added prints, because as you'll see, we can add products to more than one category. So if I add some new images to the tattoo studio category, because I've recently added them, I could also click the recently added and put them into both for the time being. So we've now got two categories, latex and tattoo studios. And what we're going to do now is, having saved that, and you see once you've saved it, it grays out, so you know it's saved. We're going to go to our product section, and we're going to add the first of our products. Okay, now this is very simple, but I want to explain something to you that we use, because it's a little format that we rename all of our images with a coding system. And I'd suggest you can do the same, but it's entirely up to you. But as you'll see here within the latex, we've got these two images, and what we do is we just put some sort of coding in there, and the reason we do that is just to keep it unique. And we use the same in our shopping cart so that you can process it as the SKU or part number or product number, and then we use the same in our print when we order our prints. So we don't end up ordering the wrong print or the wrong photo and get the wrong photo printed. So very simple. What we then, once we've renamed these, is we copy that and we paste that straight into the SKU field, which effectively is the part number. We put a name in there so it can be October latex print 1, or any description. We're going to add an image, So under that image, we're going to choose that very same one and make sure that those two are a match. And then once that has finished uploading, we're going to put a nominal weight in here. Now, this is just something that we found works, but it's used when it comes to adding up the postage costs, etc. As obviously the more prints people add, the greater the weight is going to be as it sums it up. So if you just put 0.2 kilograms in there, you'll find that will work. And this product obviously requires shipping because you're going to ship the prints out. Okay, once you've done that, we can then put a description in here, so anything really that you want, but high quality print featuring October Divine, seeing as we're doing it for, there's a dummy, another dummy, by Cy at the Pinup Academy, printed on high quality photographic gloss paper. Okay, and anything else that you want. Now we're going to put a price in here of £8, and that's the starting price for the smallest print that we offer, which is an 8x6. And feel free to use the same prices if you wish. It works. We can show you or share with you a service where we buy prints from later. Obviously that way you're sure to make money. Now once we've done that, we're going to click over onto our options tab, and our options are where we're able to effectively specify the different print sizes and options available. So the first option I'm going to create here is print size. Okay, it's going to be a radio button, and then I'm going to choose a new selection, and we're going to start by 8 by 6 inch. Okay, and then we're going to put that as a 0 modifier. So effectively what we're saying is that 8 by 6 is sold at £8. So when I put a second one in, this will start to make sense. I'm going to go up to the next highest size now. So we're going to go to a 12 inch by 8. Okay, and for this we add £4. Okay, we're going to add another one, and we offer a 15 by 10 option. So this is the same photo, but your customer can choose them in different sizes. So now we're going to go to £14, so that adds £14 to 8, which makes £22 in total. And last, we're going to go with an 18 by 12, so an 18 inch by 12 inch, and for that we add £22. Now don't forget to tick the default one. So effectively that says that's this price here. That's the default one. So I could have my default one as the 12 by 8 and set that as 0, make this 12 and have this as -4. You can put minus figures in as well, but it's easier to show the cheapest, and that it's usually better to show the cheapest option, and then they're just adding on £4 extra to have the largest size. Okay, so I'm just going to save that as we go along and then go back to the options. So those are all in there as set. As you can see on this right hand side as well, we've got availability. Now we've got it always enabled, so basically we're saying that it's in stock all the time, because you're going to obviously order the prints once you've received the order, and then they're going to wait for them to be delivered to you. You can assign them, kiss them, and then post them out to your customers. But if there was a product that you actually have only got a limited number of, say you've only got 5 and you can't get any more, you can actually manage the stock and set a stock level in there. And then once those 5 have gone, you can actually have it so that it hides it from the shopping basket. But we just leave it as it is in here, set, so that it's effectively always in stock. Now I'm going to add another option, and that option is signed and sealed with a kiss, because we give them the option for October, or in your case for yourself, to sign and seal with a kiss. Again, this time we're going to introduce checkbox, so we're going to go for a checkbox option, add a new selection and say signed by October Divine. Now obviously you put your own name in there, or your own model name, and for that we add £1, and then to add a kiss is £1. And again we're going to save. Okay, so our options have now been added as we go through. So what we can now look at is various other options. The rest of these tabs we can click through, but effectively you could, if there was more than one image per product, you could upload further images. If there's any files, now this is again a option that's available if you upgrade to the next version, but this is where you sell Ecwid, so they can actually download and receive an electronic image, but I would suggest that you want to sell prints anyway, hard copies, rather than release the full high resolution images. Tax and shipping we'll come back to. I'm assuming most of you aren't VAT registered, so you can leave this as using the global settings, and then we just leave that as not applicable. But related products is one that I do want to cover. Now this is where when somebody buys one of your prints or looks at one of your prints, they can say, actually other people like these. And what you can do here is choose a number. So show me, say, 5 related products from a category, and this is why it's great to use categories. So because this is one of the latex ones, we'll show 5 more from the same category. Now if there's not 5 prints in there, it can't show 5, it will just show how many there is, but that's fine. Okay, so that's the first product done, and we've saved it. So if I go back to my products, you'll see we've got this October latex set up. Now it gets easier. Okay, so we've set up our first product. Now we literally just look at duplicating them. So you'll see here there's a duplicate button. So once you've saved it, you can click duplicate. We can change the name to October Latex Print 2. We're going to open up my folder. We're going to take the next one. I'm going to copy that file name. Remember this little workflow that we have where we put the file name in first. Then I change the image to October Latex 2. Let that upload. And now click save. That's my second product entered. See how easy it gets. All my options and everything, because we duplicated the first product, it's duplicated the options, it's also duplicated the related product section. Okay, so now we're going to enter the products into the tattoo gallery. Now we could start again from fresh, but again, we're going to duplicate. But we're just going to change what's applicable. So in this time, we're going to change the actual name to October Tattoo Studio. We're going to go and take the SKU or product field. We're going to change the image and choose the one that corresponds. So October PA Tattoo, and select choose. and that uploads. Okay, now what we are going to do now is go down to assigning categories. Now, if I've left this to this point, but this is where we assign the categories and we assign it to the tattoo studio. We could, as you see, assign multiple ones. So this is a tattoo studio one and say OK. And then say, what we're going to do now is the options are still the same because of the same prices and the same options. So the same print sizes are still available. The related products though, we're actually going to change to tattoo studio prints. And then again save, and that's done. So now again we can add the rest of those images. So let me add a couple more. So duplicate, and we're going to call this one number 4, which I think is the next one I've got. Take that. Take number 4 image. And once that's finished uploading, we can save. We don't need to change the category because it's still assigned. So the logical thing would be, you know, when you first set the first ones up, we would have chose the latex ones, but I've left that to show you later on how we assign them, so we're going to go back in and assign those in a minute. So we'll do one more on here. We've saved it. We're now going to duplicate it. We're going to take the next one, which is tattoo 5, put that into the SKU, change it here, change the image so it corresponds to tattoo 5. This way, when you get the order and it says the SKU is October PA Tattoo 5, you know which images it is, which product. When it's finished uploading, we choose save. Okay, so now if we go back to our products, we've got 3 October tattoo images, 1, 4 and 5 under the tattoo studio prints. October latex print 1 and 2 is no category assigned. So what I'm going to just do is open those, choose a category and save. Now you'll notice these right and left arrows, so if I choose the right, I've now gone to October latex 2, choose the category, choose latex and save. Okay, so now when we go back to our products, we can see we've got 2 in the latex category and 3 in the tattoo studios prints. And we can filter as this becomes more. If you have got lots and lots, you can filter these just by those in the latex category or tattoo studios or by name, etc. Okay, so now we've shown you how to add products and categories. We're now going to go through further into the actual settings. Now, as I mentioned, there is the option to add discount codes, but this is available as an upgrade. So once you start making money from the prints, choose your first 10 prints, choose your first 10 prints, add them to the shopping cart, start making some money, then upgrade to add the extra features, extra prints, extra categories, and also be able to offer discount codes and promotional offers. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the option here to go into settings and actually start customizing the store. So the first thing we're going to do is create a name. So this could be October Divine Print Sales. We can put a storefront URL. At the moment we're going to leave this blank because obviously if you've got a website, this would be where you would put the URL and the link to the shopping cart on your website. But we're going to cover that in a separate video because we're assuming at the moment that you're just going to start with adding a shopping cart to your Facebook page, and then you're going to create a website at a later date and then add the shopping cart to that as well. But it will be this shopping cart still, so you don't have to repeat this process. We just take the code and add this widget to your website. So what we can do now is put in any details of your company name, etc., your address, postcode and phone number, etc. Now this is used to fill in the template. So if I put in, for example here, the Pinup Academy's address, name and address, and our office address, postcode here in the UK, and then we could put our office number in there as well. And then again save that as we move along. The starter site is a URL, so you can actually put in a URL here and change that name. So I would suggest here trying your model name if it hasn't already been taken. Okay, so we can have octoberdivine.ecwid.com. Formats, we're basically just going to choose from here, making sure that the display format, that it's in pounds sterling. The exchange rate we use, it does change occasionally, but we use a constant 1.6, and that always seems to work well for us, unless obviously the dollar goes up or down significantly. You can leave that, but this is where you would go in and change it if that's the case. And then everything else again, just to make sure that we're in metric weights, etc. Time displays, AM and PM, and also your date format. So if you're in the UK, it's taking the UK settings because it knew I was in the UK based on my IP address when I registered. If I was in the US, it would use a US format, and so on for Europe, etc. Languages, we can leave all of these selected, but you'll see it will default to the English one. And then when we get into our cart, so we can skip through a lot of these settings. I'm just going through the ones you need to change, and obviously review this video at any one time. But this is where we can hide out of stock products. So it's very simple, very self-explanatory. So I mentioned before, if you activate the stock control on your products, this is where you can say, if I've run out, hide it, so people can't see stuff that we've sold out of. Show buy now buttons on product list pages, we always tick. Default product order is defined by yourself, so that's fine. And show price per unit, we just leave as it is as set. These options here get activated as you come up. The skip payment method selection, if the order total is 0, this is really useful when you're doing sort of like a free image download or something. So if you do activate to the next paid subscription version, and then you decide to offer, say, a free low-res screensaver or a promotion for a digital screensaver, so it's not a high-res copy but it's a low-res copy, if that's free, we would just then set this so that for any orders where the total is 0, mark it as paid, so you don't have to sort of have it in the awaiting payment section because there is nothing to pay. Require customers to create an account on checkout. We would leave this unchecked, so leave it by the default, because what you'll find is that it does put some people off. They can still pay, you still get their email address, etc., without that option being ticked. It just saves them creating a password and account as such. So it's a quicker process for checkout, and you don't want to put them off at that last point, so we leave that unchecked. And and then the open bag, when the add to bag is clicked, we tick on, and then the rest of these things obviously are available if you upgrade it, where it goes on for a tracking code. We use this where we put a tracking code in there so we can target those people who've actually ordered and gone through to the thank you page with our other promotions. But we can cover that at a later date. But as I say, that's available once you've upgraded this feature. And that's really about it from this options. There's other options further down, but a lot of these are upgrade options, so I wouldn't worry yourself with that at this time. So effectively, we've, the show by now we've left as the default. We moved the set orders status to paid, and just ticked open bag when add to bag is clicked. Okay, but review this and just look at the same settings. Okay, again we can save that, but if we click on another page, if it needs to, it will come forward and pop up and say, do you want to save it as you move forward? Now, on here, this is all the legal things, so you can put in a description about us, your returns policy, your terms and conditions, your privacy policy. So, all of these things you can customize. So, for example, a shipping and payment option, once you've enabled it, you can edit it. And this could be where you just type, we have a 14-day shipment, or all UK orders are shipped via UPS or Parcel Force. And require signature upon delivery, etc. There's various things. There's lots of places where you can get sample shipping information, terms and conditions. But this is where you enter it, and this is where you obviously fill it in for each of those, a returns policy, etc. So if you want to give a returns policy where you allow them to return it within 7 days, 14 days if they're not completely happy, this is where you would specify it. Okay, so once we've done that now, we need to go across these tabs and very quickly just finish setting up the cart. So the first thing we need to just talk about are the zones, because we're assuming that you want to sell across the world as such, because it's the internet. So by default it sets up United States, US and Canada, Europe and EU, United Kingdom, international, which is everything outside of the UK. Now we tend to use just the two, UK and international. If you want to put different pricings up for each of these and offer different prices, then that's fine. But as I say, we use the UK and international, so very simply we've just removed those. And then when we come across to shipping, it's asked me if I want to save that. We're now going to enter shipping methods, and there's two that we use by default, and that is very simple. The first thing is we're going to choose what shipping region, and we're going to choose the international, which is everything outside of the UK. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select here that it's a custom table, and then I'm going to click onto the next option, and I'm going to say that this shipping rate is based on the subtotal, and it's based on the range, the subtotal and the weight. And then what we're going to do here is say from order values between £0 and £200, we're going to charge £6 per order. Okay, so there's a minimum of £6 plus £1 per item, plus £1 per kilo. Okay, so Then I'm going to add another one and say it automatically fills it in based on the lower level. So £200 and up. We're going to go £50 per item, per order, £1 per item, and £6 per kilo. Sorry, this one here was £5, not £5 per kilogram, and £6 on this option. So again, just to familiarise with that, it's 0 to 200, £6 per order, £1 per item, leave the percentage blank, and plus £5 per kilo. 200 plus is £50 per order, £1 per item, £6 per kilo. Okay, we're then going to have a delivery speed of up to 14 days because this is going international, and that's business days, so Monday through Friday. And then we're going to name this, and we're going to call it postage and package international. Okay, signed for, or whatever it is that you're specifying, and save and finish. And then we're going to add a new one, and again we're going to choose this as the UK this time, custom table, range, subtotal and weight. This time the price is £2 per order because it's in the UK, it can be less, £1 per item, and this time it is £1 per kilo, and the value there was 200 again. 200 and up, we're going to go with £7.50 per order, £1 per item, £1 per kilo. This time we're going to deliver within 7 business days. And we're going to call this again postage and package, postage and packing UK, signed for. Okay, so what we've effectively done is we've said that if somebody's in the UK, they're going to be using this postage rates. If somebody's international, i.e. outside of the UK, they're going to be using these postage rates. And Ecwid will assign that for you automatically, so it knows where people are when they're placing the order. So when they come to check out, it knows they're in the US, it's going to assign it international. If they check out and it knows they're in the UK, it's going to use the postage and package UK rates. So very simple. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the origin address. We just leave this tick to use the company address. So effectively it's saying that this is where it originated from. And any handling fee, etc. Again, we just leave this as blank. So I know it's an upgrade option, but we just leave that as it is. So you don't need to pay for the upgrade. At least not for that, to add that feature on. The VAT we're just going to leave as, the taxes, we're going to leave that as blank, unless you're VAT registered, and then you would assign a new tax here and add it for VAT. And you can specify whether the VAT applies to the subtotal and whether it's defined by the billing address, so where it's going to. Payment. Now, as I mentioned before, we're going to suggest that you use PayPal. It's the easiest and cheapest. You don't have to set up any kind of merchant account, etc. So quite simply, you enable here and put in the details here. So if we put in the, let me put in an email address here. This has got to be your email address that is registered to your PayPal account. So that's it. You just literally put your email address that you use for your PayPal account in and choose enabled. And now you've set it up so that Ecwid can collect the money for you. Now obviously PayPal will deduct their fees, but Ecwid don't deduct any fees, as was mentioned earlier. Okay, so design we can leave blank. The mail is quite simply where it sets up, and it does this for you, it enables them, but at different stages through the process. So when the order is confirmed, it sends the customer an email. When the order status is changed, processed, it tells them it's been processed. When it's been shipped, it tells them it's been shipped, etc. So these are just the various emails. And they're all enabled by default, but you can switch them off if you wish. And to enable them, again, is an upgrade option if you want to edit them. They're enabled by default, but if you want to edit the template, change the wording, then this comes as a upgrade option. So you upgrade to the template. But you can preview it, and as you can see from here, there's an order confirmation. Thank you for your October Divine Print Sales Store order. We will send you a notification email as soon as your package is shipped. And then it gives an order number, etc. And that's a sample. So it would show the actual order, the actual images for the prints, etc. that was ordered. Okay, so back into here, the invoice. There's an invoice setting. So again, you can leave this as pretty much as it is as default. If you need to change it, then again, it's an upgrade option. But most of the time, it's got your details, name, address, and everything from where we filled it in before. And then it will complete the customer's details and also the products that they've ordered, the SKUs, and the amounts. So the customer gets an invoice automatically, and you don't have to worry about it. And then the last tab we need to look at is this social tools. And even under the free option, we can still enable this and actually say that we want this on both the product details and also the list options. And that puts the Facebook like button and share options in for free. If you want to enable these on Twitter, etc., then again it comes with the next upgrade option. But for the moment, Facebook is predominantly where we're going to want to put the shopping cart on, and that enables the Facebook like button, etc. comes with it for free. Same options, you can have Facebook comments, share the purchase, i.e. somebody's just shared that they've just purchased this, or even ask friends for reviews, etc. for advice. All of these options are available and are great social tools with the upgrade. Okay, so that effectively is, if we save this, our shopping cart setup. So if I now visit the shopping cart URL, octoberdivine.ecwid.com, as we set it up, here's my shopping cart, my shopping bag, October Divine Print Sales, which is what we named the store. There are two categories, latex and tattoo studios, as we can see up here. We can click on the latex and see the two prints. If you click on that print, we can now see that print in a higher size, and we can choose a larger print. It now changes it to £12 from 8, or back to 8, 22 as we said. We can ask for it to be signed by October Divine and add a kiss, and now we've got a total price of £24. We also can see that we might like these additional prints, which were the ones that were added to the same category of latex. If we add that to the basket, we can now continue shopping and go back to the shopping cart. This is where we can click like and say that we've liked that print and add a comment, etc. And as you can see, when it shares it on Facebook, it puts the link back to your own shopping cart. So that's how the shopping cart looks, and you can send people directly to this, octoberdivine.ecwid.com. You don't need all of the rest, that's just because we've been in against the products. So you can send people directly to your shopping cart URL, as we customized earlier. However, we started this saying we're going to show you how to connect it to Facebook, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So if we close down this link, you'll see here there's a store ID. and I want you to copy that. And then in addition, that was also emailed to you. So in that first email that we had here, where we verified it, the ID was also there, so you can keep it safe. And then what I need you to do is, coming back to here, we can follow the next part, which is connecting it to Facebook, is effectively log into your Facebook account. That's you, so that's your profile. And then follow this link. Now it's apps.facebook.com /Ecwid-shop. Okay, now if you're not sure about that, I believe it's also, if we go back to your control panel and here, so back under promotion of Facebook app, this is again how we can set it. So it says basically the instructions here is open our application, follow the instructions on the application page, and here's the full details. So there's the link there as well, or there. But so what we've got here is quite simply, it says start selling on your Facebook page now, install the app, it's free, no credit card required. So we're going to install the app. Now I'm logged in as October here, so it's going to ask me, because we're setting up on her, Ecwid will receive the following information to be able to obviously to work, so that's okay. And then would like to manage your pages. Well, we've got to say yes because we want to put it on there. And then which page we're going to activate it on. So we're going to choose a dummy page for this of the pinup gallery, just to add this onto there because we've already got it on various other pages. And then we're going to add the page tab. Okay, so you can see here we've already got it on other pages as well. We've got, other shopping carts on. So that's the pinup gallery on, and then we click on this connect to store. And then what it asks for is you to enter the store ID and save. So that's the store ID that I copied from here. Okay. That's the store ID I copied, and we've pasted it in where it asked for it. And then we can go into the settings. Here's the store ID. And we can configure it. So even though it's in Facebook, we can say we want it, it to be in a grid view. Whether we want the categories menu widget to be shown or hidden. By default, it's hidden. Number of category columns, 3, grid, etc. So you can configure all of this, and you can even configure what category if you want it to, for it to start on Facebook. So by default, leave it at the top, but if you wanted it to drop into a subcategory, you can. And we'll save those settings. So now that's saved, we can go into the page. Let's just see where that's here, which is the pinup gallery. And then there's this default tab called products. And there's your shopping cart. Nice and easy. Okay, so if you want to change this tab and obviously the order, the process for doing that is going into your settings, going into your apps, and then going into the it goes back into the edit settings and change the custom tab name. So we can call this online shop or shop. And save. You can even add a custom tab image if you want, so there's a little icon. So again, now we can go back to the page and we can manage our tabs, and quite simply we can bring that up so it appears just after the about section. Okay, so you've now got online shop. And there we have it. People can now order prints directly through Facebook. Okay, when they do, those orders will appear in the sales section, and this is where you log in and process your sales. So I should suggest it's always a good idea to bookmark this page, so you have an easy way to find it, because you're hopefully going to be finding it quite a lot. Okay, so just to finish off, any questions, please feel free to message us through the Pinup Academy page. Pinup Academy was brought to you by October Divine and Cinderella Rockefeller, who are two of the UK's top pinup models, and myself, Cy Brailsford, or used to be known as Cy Pinup Pictures, internationally published photographer. We specialise in event promotions, digital marketing, product photography, obviously for photo shoots for both makeovers, pinup makeovers and photo shoot experience days, but also model portfolio packages. We do coaching and mentoring courses for both models and also workshops for photographers, and combine those together. We also do model representation and management. So that's us at the Pinup Academy. Hope you found this useful. We will be following it on with some more tutorials in the future. But for the meantime, thank you very much.